Hey, what's up, daytime MLB DFS players? Hit the thumbs up button. We're going to do a quick members only video. This one's free to the public. If you want to hit the like button, it's appreciated. I think we can go through this one pretty quick. Let's start by talking just real quickly about the weather. New York and Baltimore is one you might want to check back on from what it's seeming like. It seems like it'd probably be fine, maybe a little risky for starting pitching, but I would double check closer to lock.
Yeah, most definitely. The nice thing about this slate is all the games start within an hour of each other.
I do like that. Big fan. All right, I can say three things with absolute certainty. Erin Nola will be big chalk.
I agree.
The New York Yankees will be big chalk.
I agree.
I really would love to fade both of them, but I don't like anything else enough to really do it with any version of conviction.
Well, that's where I'll disagree with you there.
Okay, what do you like? Because I've been looking at this thing for a while, and I want to be different. I just don't have anything I like enough to, go balls deep in.
I mean, I think Houston's definitely in play.
Agreed.
I don't hate some Seattle. The Oakland Tampa game is a little bit interesting, and some Baltimore pieces are intriguing. While I don't disagree that there are no spots I love, there's only 8 teams on the slate. So if the Yankees, in my opinion, are going to get so much love, it's not going to take that much if the Yankees aren't great.
I don't disagree with any of that. And I think Houston is the secondary team that gets a decent amount of attention. I already made the cover for this one, and I got a guy that you were talking about the other day, or yesterday, I think it is, that I'm a fan of, which is Kyle Tucker. I don't think he gets too much attention today because it's lefty on lefty. And as you've stated several times, he's actually a pretty decent hitter against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, he's good, man. I don't even know what he did last night. I'm not even sure how popular he was, but nice. Stole a bag. I don't know how that happened. I mean, he'll run a little bit, but a lot of times I've been seeing lately, there's a couple teams that will run. San Diego. There's a couple teams that will run consistently. Most teams won't, but there are certain catchers and pitchers that teams will have no problem picking on. So if you get in one of those matchups, I think that it's something to take advantage of.
Agreed. So if you were setting one lineup today, what would you do for pitching?
It's a good question, man. I'm not sure yet. That's my honest answer. I'll have a better answer once we go through these guys.
Okay. Erin Nola will be monster chalk today. And I can make the case for fading just based on his performance this year. However, there's real risk in fading him because his DFS scores haven't been good, it doesn't mean that he won't come out today and drop another really good performance. It's not like he's been getting shelled. He hasn't gotten the wins a lot of time, and the strikeout numbers haven't been great. Could be a little bit of a slow start. I definitely don't mind him against a right-handed heavy St. Louis team that he absolutely destroyed just 11 days ago. I don't have 2 other SPs I feel great about outscoring him, but just based on ownership alone and lack of production this year, I can understand a GPP fade.
Yeah, I agree with you. This isn't fade him for this guy because there isn't this guy that we like. But the fade of Nola isn't DeGrom, and he's going to be, so high owned that you're right. I mean, I think you can make the rational case for fading, and I also think you can just play him and move on with your life.
I agree. Cash lock, absolutely. Don't play cash games today if you're not going to play Erin Nola. That's a great opportunity to play GPPs. That's something we can say with absolute certainty. After that, I do think you're going to see your SP2s kind of fluctuate a little bit. Bassett will get a little bit of attention. I think Montgomery we'll see how the weather plays out in that one. And then you got Houston throwing out a pair of guys. So it sounds like Luis is going to open, but he pitched 3 days ago. So, I don't know how deep you can expect him to go. I can't imagine he goes much more than 60 pitches.
Yeah, agreed. And that other guy pitched well in relief of Odorizzi the other day.
Yeah, I mean, he went 8.2 innings when Odorizzi left after 0.1, and he was really good. But we don't know how much he's going to pitch today. I mean, they could split this thing up 50-50.
I am not buying that, at all.
Yeah, I don't know enough about him, but I'm certainly not, banking on him doing anything close to that again.
I do think bats are a little bit in play. And
Seattle?
Yeah, maybe not as a full stack, but just, a Lewis, a Seager. They got a couple good sticks. And the other team we haven't mentioned yet that was kind of in the back of my mind, and I'm thinking they might go really overlooked today, is Oakland.
Yep. I was thinking about Oakland for a while. Now, they won a bunch of games in a row, and they've been massively slept offensively the last 4 days, but you can't keep a good man down forever, and one of these days they'll bounce back. And they're going up against, what do you know about Shane McClanahan? Because this is not a guy that I've ever watched pitch before.
Thing about, basically all these Rays guys is they've got good arms. Like, they have such a good, what's the word I'm looking for?
Farm system?
Not even farm system, but such a good group of young pitchers. That all these guys have good stuff. McClanahan is no different. That said, I'm pretty sure it's his first start, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
it's his first time this year, at least.
Yeah, I think it's his first start ever. We know how that plays sometimes, regardless of how good he is or how shitty he is, which he's probably not shitty, but you get my point. A lot of times this moment can be too big for guys. A lot of times it can, the moment is just right for them. We don't know how it's going to play out for McClanahan. I do think the A's are intriguing in tournaments because he's got good stuff, but I don't think he's a guy that's got, a Cy Young stuff, at least not yet.
Makes sense. Any interest? So, are you Kim or Team Philly?
I'm Kim. We talked about him last time.
He was really good last year.
Yeah, and we talked about him last night. I ended up getting on him. He was really good. I watched a lot of it. I mean, he reminds me a little bit of Ryu.
That's a good comparison. Also, he went up to 85 pitches last time out. So you got to assume that if he's pitching well, he's primed for 90 plus here.
One thing you'll love, I know it's lefty on lefty, but probably no Bryce Harper.
Oh, it doesn't hurt the lineup at all whatsoever. Also, Real Amutu's caught a bunch of days in a row, hasn't he? He could easily be out of the line. Oh, no, he didn't last night. You're right.
So he'll be in today, but I mean, that is what it is. I definitely am more Team Kim. I kind of like Kim. I'm thinking maybe I'll pair the pitchers in this game.
Okay, cool, because that's what I was going to do.
All right, I didn't know if you were on Kim like that.
I feel like we talked it through last time, and we went and looked up his numbers from last year, and because I played him a decent amount last year, and so I'm a fan of his game. He does not give up a lot of hard contact.
I don't think he gets a ton of love. Do you?
So the SP2 seems to be spread around pretty nicely around Bassett, Montgomery. I think maybe guys might get off the Astro guys if they really look at how they plan to play today. McClanahan will get a little bit of love. So I think just by the byproduct of there not being a lot of great options, he'll get some, but not overwhelming chalk.
For sure.
So that was where I kind of ended up on this slate. I wanted so badly, and I can easily make a case for not playing Nola based on just, his production this year. However, I mean, where am I going to go to put two SP2s together?
Yeah, I would definitely rather fade the Yankees than Nola if forced to choose.
Agreed. And Nola's good, and he could easily just walk into 25 points today without breaking a sweat, and nobody else gets over 16. And when he's massively chalk like this, if you don't play him, you're screwed. I'm with you. I'd rather fade the Yankees than him.
I do think Montgomery gets some love, too.
Probably.
Like you said, it's spread around. But people love picking on Baltimore.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I can also make case for a couple of, Baltimore bats. Just sprinkle them in there a little bit. They're not a good baseball team, but, I like Jordan Montgomery, but he's not a 9K pitcher either.
No, I agree.
Okay, I think we agree on this one. This is kind of where I would go if I was setting one lineup today. I would play Philly and St. Louis. And even talking it through again, I don't like any other offense enough to really, really get gung-ho excited about it. And while I don't love the Yankees, I certainly am not a big Jorge Lopez fan. So I'll probably mostly ride with a cash game type of build today and play Yankees and these two pitchers.
I get that. I think that I'm more likely to go to the Tampa-Oakland game from both sides, to be quite honest. And I'm normally a Bassett fan, but he has not impressed me this year.
Not at all.
Not even a little bit. And on the road, I'm not saying Tampa's in the crush spot here, but I like some Rays pieces, and they're very affordable.
All right. So if I'm setting the lineup right now, guys, just kind of a heads up, it's still going to look something like this for cash games. It is going to be, high and mighty on the Yankees right here. I can easily put in a Kyle Tucker right there. I can mess around with my catcher. I can spend up in one of these spots if like Judge happens to make the lineup or something like that. I can go bottom of the order if I want to be different. I know a Matt Bellman special is play a guy like Clint Frazier over Giancarlo Stanton or something like that. Bottom of the order, homered last night. His numbers don't look good, but this dude can hit.
Yeah, the other thing is like potentially like, using the bottom of the, like stacking the Yankees, but just like, I don't know. The other thing is I usually play in really small man field contests. So like if I love it, like me personally, if I love a team like the Yankees, like I'll just use them and try to find a way to be different. If I'm playing in like, the 10,000 person big $10 GPP, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like a lot different, because on those, like you just want to get to the top. Like first place pays everything, and it's hard to get there when 40% of the field has the Yankees. But when you're in a 200 person contest, it's just way different, as you know.
No doubt about it. Then the secondary chalk team will be the Houston Astros. It's going to be Yankees big chalk, Houston secondary chalk, chalk B if you want to call it like that. And then everybody else is going to come in pretty low owned, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? We have no Alvarez for Houston. He was placed on the sick list, whatever you want to call it. So I think you're going to get Tucker's really, really cheap. You're not going to get him at like 2% or anything like that, but the lefty on lefty matchup should keep him away from being relatively chalky. Correa is good against lefties. Bregman, Diaz can make the lineup. Altuve, Gurriel smashes against left-handed pitching.
Tucker is projected really high owned.
Is he? Okay.
Which I don't know. I mean, I get, but I also agree with your point. Like, I don't know. I haven't gone through all the outfielders yet, so I'm not sure. But I completely agree with you. It's going to be the Yankees and the Astros.
And it probably depends on who the Yankees have today in their lineup, right? Like if like Hicks and Gardner are batting in like the 2 and the 3 hole, like they are going to eat up a ton of outfield ownership.
They have a lot of cheap guys too. Like Mike Ford hit 5th yesterday. I mean, you still got Shella in there. I'm with you. I think one thing we can say for certain about all the other teams is that St. Louis will definitely be the lowest owned.
Yeah.
I mean, by far.
Yeah. And I can't get there myself.
But... No, me neither. But like, I just like, that's just like you said, the facts earlier. St. Louis will definitely be really, really low owned. I'm not saying they're in play for me. They're not, but they'll be really.
You could one off a hot Tyler O'Neill though, if you just want to be different. Like Erin Nola has been
saying he homered and stole a base last night.
And that could be like, if you love the Yankees and you love Erin Nola, Tyler O'Neill is a guy that, he's batting .217, his OPS is .750. He's not having a great season, but we've seen a lot of flashes from him lately. As you mentioned, a stolen base last night, 3 home runs over his last 14 home bats. A guy like this at 2,600 with what, 10% ownership, maybe?
Maybe.
That could be enough to be different. And on a small slate like this, you can play guys against your pitchers because, again, Nola has not been bulletproof this year. Like, there's a real good chance he gives up a couple runs today. And it could be an interesting way to be just a little bit different.
Definitely. I mean, it's a 4-game baseball slate.
Right. I try not to play hitters against my pitchers on massive slates when you're going for absolute upside, and stuff like that. But on a smaller slate, when like Erin Nola could get 19 points today, right? And still be the highest scoring pitcher by 4.
Yep.
So, all right. Kind of wraps up. Let's just discuss Seattle real quick because you got Mitch Money Haniger, who's day to day. So he could be in the lineup, could not be. We'll play that one out. I think everybody in the world knows you're a monster Kyle Lewis fan. Homered again last night. Is he a great hitter? Like, will he bat .330 this year? No, but he's going to hit for some power. I think he can run just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he won the Rookie of the Year, I think, last year. Not that that means anything, but he's got talent. Again, he runs and hits for power. Yeah, I think Seattle. I'll say this about Seattle. I think on this slate they're in play against the Houston pitchers they're throwing out, but their lineup is.
It's not good.
No, it's very unattractive. I mean, it's just like, what it is.
You're gonna hear us throughout the season give some credit to some teams that are feisty. From time to time, the Tigers will be feisty. The Marlins are coming off a nice, series against my Brewers where they were feisty. Seattle, we're going to talk about them. So there's going to be times where they're going to play feisty. But when it comes down to it, they're not a very good baseball team. And they're easier to pick on. Doesn't mean they can't have their days, though, in a 4-game slate like this.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all that matters. So I'm with you.
All right. So just to kind of recap, our SPs today, if we could only set one lineup, sounds like we're going to go heavy on the pitching with Kim and Nola. Nola's going to be absolute chalk supreme. SP2s are going to be kind of spread around between McClanahan, which I understand, a team that's now cold, 5,500, starting pitcher, understandable. We have no idea what his pitch count is here today.
Thing is, I get it too, but you don't need it on this slate. There's so many cheap guys.
I'm with you on that one.
I think, if anyone likes Montgomery, you can easily roster Nola Montgomery. Easily.
And the other thing is, look at your outfielders today. Bryce Harper, good chance he doesn't play. Aaron Judge, good chance he doesn't play. Alvarez out of the lineup. So, you have plenty of money that you don't need to go down to a guy like that, as you were kind of saying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so on a main slate, with really expensive hitting options, I could see it, but I don't know. I don't think he's chalk today. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, he'll get some attention, but I don't think he's be chalk. I really do think SP2 will be spread out. Nola will be 95 in cash games, 95% owned, and probably 75, 80% in GPPs, wouldn't you think? Maybe yes. A little lower?
Yeah, maybe a little lower, but it's not even about Nola. It's about the lack of other options.
Agreed, 100%. I sat here for an hour this morning trying to come up with a rational argument for fading Nola, and I can do so. Let's go back to the other day when we liked Max Scherzer. You didn't like Lucas Giolito, which is one of the reasons you like Max. Well, we were right not to love Lucas Giolito. He was very blah, got hit at the end. But you could still be wrong and not like Max. And that's kind of the thing about Nola today. You can be right in the sense that he wasn't great, but who are you going to be right around that beats him? I don't know who that's going to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. What is your take on Bassett / the Tampa Bats?
I am more likely to play a cheap piece of Tampa, like a Margot or something like that.
He is coming off 2 good starts.
Against Baltimore and Detroit. He's gone through some, he wasn't great against the good teams early in the year. And then was he decent because he went against some bad teams in Arizona, Detroit, and Baltimore, or was he just getting better? I can't answer that question for you guys.
I agree. Definitely someone I'll be interested in watching today.
I would say he'd be my 3rd starting pitcher, though. If I was doing a 3-entry max and I was mixing and matching my pitchers, I might do one Bassett Kim just to get off Nola and then kind of mix and match those 3 guys because I like him more than I like Montgomery.
I'm not sure about that. All those guys or Bassett and Montgomery are close for me.
Yeah. I like Bassett more, but it's not
more in general. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Bassett more than Montgomery, but it's not a, Jacob deGrom, Brett Anderson type of situation or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's much, much, much closer than that. Okay. Yankees supreme chalk, Houston secondary chalk. Nobody will be using St. Louis. You have some interest in Oakland, Tampa. I don't mind pieces from it, but I'm not selling my soul to get here. It's a cash game day for me. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I tried to make a concerted effort this season to decide, do I hate the chalk or like the chalk? I don't love the chalk here in the Yankees, but they are my favorite offense. So I'll probably focus on cash games today and then reevaluate the night slate and decide if I want to pivot to GPPs right there.
Makes sense. And we will be talking about that in just a little bit here.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and good luck.
Thanks, guys.